And welcome back, folks, to more 428 Shibuya Scramble. Last time we played, we did a bit of Minorikawa, we did a bit of Osawa. Both on keepouts. I think what we gotta do is Kano. For now. There was also some jumps we had to do. So maybe that would be appropriate. Yeah, okay, game. So let's go with Kano. Determination. Thinking back to the way Tatano had put his life on the line to rescue a bunch of strangers made Kano feel all the more raw about just tailing these syndicate members. Letting the crooks just wander around wasn't going to bring Maria Osawa to safety. Of that, Kano was now certain. Shoot, it's bleeding pretty bad, he heard someone say behind him. He turned and saw two young men. He saw two young men carrying another along. There was a towel wrapped tightly around the third's head. Hey, what happened? Kano asked. Shut your mouth. Kano blanched. Can the attitude, he's trying to help. Another voice cut in. It was Sasayama. He had finished dealing with the girl by the station then. What happened to your friend? Out of my way, man. I ain't afraid to kick your ass. Look, cut the crap and let me take a quick look. Sasayama unwrapped the towel from the young man's head. Ooh, that's nasty. The young guy was little more than a kid. His head was soaked red with blood. He appeared to be unconscious. They couldn't just leave him like this, but they were in the middle of a job. They should probably call juvenile affairs. They were in the middle of a job, but they couldn't just leave him like this. They should probably take him to a hospital. B for big heart? Okay. They were in the middle of a job, but they couldn't just leave him like this. They should probably take him to a hospital. Kano offered to help carry the bloody young man, but Sasayama stepped in front of him. He quickly flashed the two youths his badge. Oh crap, you a cop? Sasayama nodded. Who are you kids with? The Bamfs? The badass mother... Shibuya's number 2 gang, its leader, Sohei Ikari, has gathered up some big mean dudes in an attempt to make Shibuya his turf. The gang's leadership is inferior to that of SOS, but on an individual level, its members tend to be stronger in a fight. Word is that the rise of the Bamfs is one of the reasons SOS has been growing more combative recently. SOS? SOS, admitted one of the men after some hesitation. Who attacked you? Yo, it ain't like that. What is it like, then? Infighting? The young man was silent. Sasayama must have been right on the mark. In the course of his police duties, Kano picked up a fair amount of street gossip from the young people in Shibuya. Lately, the scuttlebutt about the legendary SOS gang was that they were dealing with some internal strife. Look, don't worry about it. I get it. There's a hospital just down the way. Hurry up and let's get him there. The young man batted off Sasayama's offered hand, then quickly hauled his friend away. Sounds like SOS is on the verge of breaking up with all this infighting, huh? Kano asked. He kept his eyes on the young men as they headed off. Yeah, it seems like it's pretty rough. You know, with the original leader leaving it all. The detectives in juvenile affairs were well acquainted with the SOS's original leader. That would be Aki Endo. Initially, SOS was nothing more than a small group of like-minded young people who hung out together. But as its membership grew, the general public began referring to the group as a gang. Word has it that back when Aki was in charge, gang members never started any conflicts themselves, but simply responded in kind when others brought fights to their way. The stories were like something out of some high after-school special. There were tales of them taking down gangs who sold drugs to kids, or breaking into Yakuza front offices to save their friends. Detectives with juvenile affairs took these stories with a grain of salt. But if there really were young people like that out there, Kano hoped to meet them someday. Is Brelix a Bamf? Maybe. Detectives had to hurry to catch up with the man they were tailing. He was still strolling along, seemingly in no particular hurry. They kept him in sight as he crossed another pedestrian overpass and circled back around. Still following the same MO, huh? Sasayama grumbled. Guess so, Kano said. How'd things go with the girl? He was careful not to take his eyes off the mark as they talked. I managed to calm her down and get her on the train. She was going on about how she wanted to go someplace far, far away. But whatever, it's all good now. I feel kind of bad about the whole thing, Kano said. Well, she's not pertinent to the case anyhow. Guess it's back to dogging this guy. Sasayama nodded towards the suspect, looking none too pleased. So, Sasayama, I'm thinking the attaché case is going to get handed off again at any moment now, huh? Sasayama peered at the mark, who was just scanning the plaza he'd just entered, apparently looking for someone. I take one side, you take the other, Kano suggested. Sasayama's eyes went wide. Say what now? That way we apprehend both perps involved with the handoff. Sasayama didn't reply. Look, HQ isn't thinking about the hostage's safety, Kano said. That needs to take priority here. Sasayama's face took on a rare solemnity. Disobeying direct orders is not something to do lightly. What is disobeying a direct order? A detective's behavior is governed by the Local Public Service Act. Article 32 states that a detective is to faithfully follow the orders of his superior in the course of his duties. Violating this is punishable by a warning, reduction in pay, suspension from duty, or dismissal. In the event of a warning, not only is the individual expected to submit a formal letter of apology, but pay raises may be delayed or performance bonuses cut. Then after a moment he added, but I'm on board. I'm sick of all this wandering around anyway. That's the Sasayama I know, Kano replied with a chuckle. Sasayama gave him a silent thumbs up. The two detectives took up position on the opposite side of the plaza. Kano called up Sasayama on his cell phone. You ready? He asked. Just give the word. There were only two non-Japanese people in the nearby crowd. Both were eyeing their surroundings anxiously. Kano was certain the handoff was about to take place, and then... Well, if it isn't Mr. Toyama... Kano's ears perked up at the sound of an aggressive greeting, the voice dripping with feigned cheer. He whirled around to see the two rough-looking young men confronting a father and his daughter. The older man looked pained. "Please, just hold on," he said placatingly. "I thought we agreed on 4 o'clock. The young man snarled. "Don't you try and play dumb with us, buddy." "Nothing like that, I swear. My girl was just hungry, so I stepped out to..." "Yeah? How come you just didn't order delivery, huh?" "Ah, yes, right. Well, I suppose that would work too. Ha 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 ha. Don't you ha 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 me, man." Watched the argument uneasily. The stranger's altercation put him in a bit of a spot. The crook he was tailing probably wouldn't risk handing off the case with an uproar like this going on. "What's going on over there?" Sasayama asked. "I'm not sure," Kano replied. "Looks like some kind of argument." "The suspects are gonna get wary on us. Gonna screw up the whole handoff." "Yeah, I know." "So do something about it and get over there," Sasayama said. "What? Find some way to shut them up and get over here." "Oh, sure, all right." Kano headed towards the argument. He was only halfway there when Sasayama called again. He sounded panicked. "Hey, Kano!" He made a run for it. "Huh? Oh, crap!" The man they had tailing had vanished in the brief time Kano had taken his eyes off of him. "Wait up!" Kano shouted. Sasayama was racing after the suspect, and Kano rushed to join him. The man was surprisingly quick, however, and neither detective managed to catch up. In fact, they soon lost sight of him amidst the teeming crowds. Frantically, they dashed through the streets, and as fast and as hard as they could. "We lost him," Sasayama admitted at last. "Darn it!" He stamped his foot on the asphalt in disgust. "Director Kuze?" Kano gasped over the wireless. "I'm sorry, but we lost the man with the attaché case." There was a heavy sigh on the other side of the line. Kano braced himself. He wasn't going to be able to weasel out of this one with just "I'll do better next time." "Sasayama, Kano, get your asses back to the precinct." Kuze out. With that, Kuze switched off the line. Back to the precinct. Kano knew full well what that meant. They were off the case. There was a gnawing in his gut. If those two punks hadn't shown up, no. If the father and his daughter hadn't turned up, he might have been able to apprehend the suspects. "Ah, don't let it get you down," Sasayama said. "I mean, paper pushing can be kind of fun." The look on his face, however, suggested that he didn't think it was fun at all, not one bit. The air of two men heading towards an execution. Kano and Sasayama trudged back towards the Shibuya precinct. Bad end! Now, who ran into the father? And where were the jumps again? I don't remember. Oh, there's a jump there. Gonna have to start this hour from the start. No, thank you. It's not Aki. There is a jump on Aki though, so. Little sister. Oh my god, where is it? You're going too fast. Well, because we already went through this. What if I want to read it again? Well, better read quickly. Pinky promise. You know, she called me amazing. Did we miss the jump? Ah, there's the jump. So we went through all of that for nothing. Minorikawa took a look at his wristwatch. What is a wristwatch? By the way, what sort of impression do you have of this wristwatch? Just respond with whatever happens to come to mind. It's all right. It's okay. Looks a little tacky. Look, Minorikawa took a look at his wristwatch and gritted his teeth. Darn, is it that late already? He needed to head to the sales demo. The surveillance camera article wasn't done, but he'd just have to leave it where it was for now. As he was slipping his laptop back into his bag, his cell phone rang. He looked at the screen and saw Chiaki's name listed as the incoming caller. Was she done with her interviews? He hurriedly he picked up. Chiaki, how's it going? Several wet sniffles came through the receiver. Hey, are you crying? It's no use. Chiaki's voice was indeed punctuated by sobs. People won't stop to talk no matter how hard I try. Oh, come on. This again, really? I can't do it. Don't worry about paying me. Just please let me go home. Minarikawa was already operating on a too tight schedule. He didn't have time to worry about Chiaki on top of it all. Look, just slow down and take a breath. Try and keep at it a little longer. He should have seen this coming when he first called her. Her shyness was practically pathological. But if he cut her loose now, all this frustration would be for nothing. But I can't do it, Chiaki whined again. Please, just forget you ever called me. She hung up before Minarikawa could get another word in. He tried calling back, but she didn't pick up. Damn it, Chiaki! Don't you dare bail on me! Leaving money for his coffee on the table, Minarikawa jumped up and bolted from the cafe. The plaza outside Shibuya Station was crowded as ever. Minarikawa looked around, but there was no sign of Chiaki. She bailed. Minarikawa dropped to his knees in despair. His last hope had up and left. There was no one else he could even ask. Damn it. All right then, fine. I'll do it myself. He dragged himself back to his feet. All right, listen up. He shouted at the passing crowd. I'm doing street interviews here starting now. You guys, shut up and help me. I mean, don't shut up, but help me. Oh no. He wound up blowing way too much time just to get 2 pages worth of content, leaving himself unable to finish the articles. In the end, the issue of 4-star general gossip never made it to the newsstands, and Having Publishing went down for the count. He's just doing pull-ups, guys, don't worry. Chiaki calls it quits. Now, Kano ran into Chiaki. What, the girl? Yeah, want to go hit her up? She can't be involved with this, can she? Sasayama flashed him a skeptical look. Don't let your preconceptions get the better of you. Could get you killed. Fixed notions one has about something before the facts are known can be a hindrance to thinking freely. If you think about it too hard, you might fall victim to the preconception that preconceptions themselves are always bad. I know that, but still, she doesn't come across as involved to me. Kano knew better than to judge people based on appearance, but he was still convinced the girl wasn't part of this gang. She just struck him as far too, well, inept, really. Alright, I'll go look into the girl, Sasayama said. You keep following the attaché case. Kano nodded and hurried after the man. The man's black garb made him stand out in the crowd at the intersection. It occurred to Kano that all of the criminals who handled the attaché case were wearing the same black clothing. In fact, it made the whole situation even weirder. Wait, we already went through this. Would they really be ignorant that they were all being followed while they were all wearing the same eye-catching outfit? It was more like they were going out of their way to make sure the investigators spotted them. Then that still didn't provide any clues to what they were after, though. Okay, so we already did this. Big Diary number 1. Big dictum. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect, ever. Okay, let's go see Minarikawa now. Oh, or it's no use. Okay, so not that. Maybe Tama? Let's go together. And so Chiri and I head out in search of the truck. Boing. As we make our way down Center Guy, peering in all directions, I accidentally bump right into a man who's out with his daughter. Oh, pardon me. I hop back to my feet and go to bow and to the man in apology. Boing. Ow. He bows at the same time and we manage to bonk our heads together. Sorry. As her dad drops to his knees, clutching his head, the girl begins to wander off. Yeah, Hana, wait! The man lurches to his feet and runs after the girl. She seems like an odd kid, only 10 or so, but strangely cold and distant for her age. McDonald's! As we make our way down the road, Chiri's eyes light up upon a cafe. Man, am I super hungry, she mutters. Not now, we have to find that truck. Yeah, I know. I stride purposefully along, and though Chiri flashes the eatery a long, lingering look, she falls into step behind me. Oh, wait a minute, but the eatery is also one of the things for Minarakawa. Chiri and I wander around town for another 10 minutes or so. We don't see any sign of the truck, though. Ah, I sigh. It really is good and gone, huh? I turn to look back at Chiri. Huh? Wait, what? Chiri's gone. She must have slipped away from me at some point. I take a quick look around, but there's no sign of her. When did she split off? She was there 2 or 3 minutes ago. 12:35. Sales demo starts in 25 minutes. What do? I don't have time to go looking for Chiri. Guess I'll have to keep searching for the truck by myself then. I have no clues to go on, and I don't know how I'm ever gonna find it. Arrgh, what should I do? Keep out. Okay. Okay, so see, this gets stopped there. Since we took the other route with Tama. And by doing that, then Minarakawa can go down there. Okay. Aki had another jump. There we go. Here, take a look at this, huh? Osawa could have never anticipated what he saw on the LCD screen. It was an email from Hitomi. Stifling an exclamation, he scanned the contents of the message. There's a man following me. He has a gun and I think he's trying to kill me. I'm safe for the moment, so try not to worry. The kidnapper warned me, told me not to contact my family or the police. Please keep this email a secret. But didn't Hitomi give the kidnapper the ransom? Osawa said. What could anyone want with her now? Tanaka shook his head, uncertain. He wouldn't know any better than I would, I suppose. Do the police know about this? And if so, why haven't they said anything? He felt himself start to tremble as he searched for answers in Tanaka's silent gaze. Do you think this could be related to that other thing? I doubt it. If they were, why would they go after Hitomi? I suppose you're right, but Osawa was shaking out right now. Tanaka laid a hand on his shoulder. First, just calm down. Let's think about what we know about the kidnapper. His composure helped Osawa keep himself under control. They've taken Maria, the vice director continued quietly, along with a ransom of 50 million yen. And now they're after Hitomi. His gaze sharpened. Sir, do you think this could be someone who holds a personal grudge against you? A grudge? Osawa considered. He couldn't think of anyone who would have a reason to attack him. He had been too caught up in the virus research since his time in school to have formed any hostile rivalries. He didn't have any enemies that he knew of. Maybe someone's jealous that I became head of a laboratory, he suggested doubtfully. He had held his position for years at this point. Why would that spur someone into kidnapping his daughter now? Has anything happened recently? Tanaka asked. Anything strange since you got back from overseas? Since I got back. Osawa's heart skipped a beat, then started pumping faster. The first thing that came to mind was the solicitation that he'd gotten from the American laboratory. If he accepted the offer, it would put Akoshi Pharmaceutical in quite a bind. Possibly enough to warrant someone holding a grudge over that. But the only other person who knew about the potential transfer right now was his wife, Ai. No, nothing. Not that I can think of. He couldn't bring himself to discuss the transfer with Tanaka. He felt a surge of guilt for contemplating leaving his trusted assistant behind. If he did make a move to America, he planned to recommend that Tanaka replace him as department director. Still, he didn't expect that to make up for his abandonment. Alright, I'll see what information I can find then, Tanaka said. The kidnapper had forbidden any contact with either family or the police. But Tanaka was outside of that circle, and he knew how to handle himself with discretion. I'm sorry to have to put this on you, Osawa said, and thank you. For now, let's see if we can get Hitomi to exchange some more emails. An uncomfortable thought suddenly occurred to Osawa. He blurted it out without thinking. Why do you have my daughter's contact information on your phone? That's a good question. Tanaka gave him a worried look. Sir, I promise I can explain once all of this is over. And with that, he stepped out of the bathroom. Something in the tone of his final words left Osawa to wonder. Could it be that Tanaka and Hitomi were dating? He hoped dearly for that not to be the case. The age difference alone made the idea a disturbing one, let alone so many other considerations. Mamoru Tanaka is 40 years old and Hitomi is 19. Damn! That makes him just over twice her age. This does not necessarily mean, however, that they could not date or fall for each other. Many couples with such an age difference between them wind up in a happy, committed relationship. Trying to put aside his paranoia, Sawa resumed his struggle with the clog in the toilet. What is the clog in the toilet? Most toilet clogs are caused by a buildup of flushable paper products or by solid objects inadvertently dropped in the toilet bowl. But shockingly enough, on very rare occasions, it can be caused by someone taking a dump that happens to be that big that it gets stuck in the pipe. Apologies to anyone who might be eating right now. It reminds me of a story where a friend of mine had a sister who used to clog the toilet so much that she had to cut her dump in half for it not to happen. It was very funny. That's the story. Oh goodness. Kajiwara reappeared, still toting the bucket. Cut in half, yeah, with a knife. You seem to be having a lot of trouble there, sir. You made it sound like the whole mess was Osawa's fault. Of course I am. I've never had to do this before. Really, I think the research you would be doing would be a lot more difficult than this. Fixing toilets give me far more trouble, I'd say. Grab the poop knife. Exactly. Dropping totems in the toilet bowl. So it would seem. Kajiwara stood watching as if Osawa's efforts made an interesting show. Stop with this Germa story. It's not a Germa story. It's a real story. I don't know the first thing about viruses, sir, but I don't find unclogging toilets to be that difficult. Oh yeah, Osawa snapped? And then he ate a whole sleeve of Oreos, then barfed on the bed. Oh yeah, Osawa snapped? Then how about you fix the darn thing? Kajiwara was really a world-class pro at pissing people off. Are you sure you don't mind? The detective asked. Be my GD guest. Osawa shoved the plunger into Kajiwara's hand. A second here. I'm gonna turn on the light here. It's getting dark. And censorship. Oh man. Leaving the detective to handle the toilet, Osawa marched back to his study. Time to close the stream, that's right. He turned on the CD player and laid back on the sofa, squeezing his eyes shut. It was seriously on edge. Kajiwara. It's the intro music. Kajiwara had totally broken its stride. What now? The door to the study slid slowly open. It's Detective Kajiwara, sir. Please don't come here without asking. My apologies, Mr. Osawa. I just wanted to inform you that the toilet has been fixed. Alright, fine. Osawa hardly cared. He just wanted this guy to give him a little peace. Oh. Is that really all you have to say, sir? Nary a compliment or encouraging word? Maybe a good job, Kajiwara, or You're getting a promotion, detective. Osawa blew out his breath in exasperation. How? How are you a detective? I'm not sure how I get your meaning, sir. You are completely clueless. I'd like to ask your superiors to replace you with a detective who knows how to take this job seriously. You're gonna have to use the 3 million loonies curry life reward for that one, that's true. Mr. Osawa, with all due respect, it's unusual for a precinct detective like me to be stationed here at a victim's home. What's your point? Not to brag, sir, but I happen to be an exceptional detective. Kajiwara beamed with pride. In fact, I made an excellent showing in the Superstar Detective contest we had on our police social media service. Oh, what is social media? It's an online platform whose primary feature is allowing people to connect with one another. The police exclusive social media network that Kajiwara belongs to, Poxy, is very strictly regulated, with any abusive language, slander, sexual content, or lame jokes deleted almost immediately. I couldn't go there. For a moment, Osawa thought about the bolt of incredulous anger that shot through him was an onset of a stroke. How could a single person be so utterly infuriating? And you can't tell anyone about this, Kajiwara went on obliviously, but this summer, a new detective manga is starting up, based on me. Hey there, Rambi, how you doing? Detective manga. Manga? Manga? Mongol? Planned for serialization in the MPD's monthly PR magazine. The chapter titles have already been decided. Chapter 1, Fabled Detective, The Fabled Detective Kaji. Chapter 2, Kaji Howls at the Sun. Chapter 3, Kaji Rides the... It's like my YouTube thumbnails. Chapter 4, Kaji at Daybreak. It really is. Chapter 5, Detective Kajak. Chapter 6, Kaji, Queen of the Streets. Chapter 7, Look Out Kaji. Chapter 8, Kaji on the Edge. Chapter 9, Dance Kaji Dance. Chapter 10, Space Detective Kaji, and so forth and so on. Osawa spat out a peal of feigned laughter. A manga? I can tell you all about the plot, sir. Would you like to hear about it? I would not. It's about a telecommuting detective who solves major crimes using just his wits and his computer. Surely would like to hear about that, sir. I really wouldn't. I know I may not look it, but I'm pretty handy with computers. Kajiwara's eyes drifted over... Oh. Wait a second here. Kajiwara's eyes drifted over Osawa's laptop. His hands darted to the mouse in a matter of moments and cleared the screensaver and booted up a web browser. Hey, Osawa barked. Don't touch that! But he was too late to stop the detective. Oh, I'm gonna get DMCA'd again. The monitor showed the page for Ayanet, a fan page devoted to Aya Kamiki. Osawa's imminent rage stroke was beginning to make his vision grow fuzzy. You come to the site regularly, sir? Regularly? Well, I'm not sure I'd, Osawa trailed off, feeling the heat of a blush flare on his cheeks. There's a lot of stuff on this site. Is there a section you primarily spend time on? Well, I mean, for my part, I really only go on the fan forums for folks 40 and over. Aha! With a twinkle of curiosity in his eyes, Kajiwara appeared at the computer screen. Having his privacy invaded to this degree was the ultimate disgrace. Oh, thank you for that, Kev. Lucky. Oh, it's Lucky's Discord, 40 and up. All right, Osawa huffed. You're an amazing detective, Kajiwara. Just incredible. I see only new light now. Now, would you please? Get the hell out of my room. He tried to usher Kajiwara out of the door. Please leave me alone. He got up and left to leave the study. Now, would you please leave me alone? He got up to leave the study. Sir, hold on. There's something I wanted to give you. Kajiwara reached into his pocket. I don't need a damn banana. Osawa fled the room. He needed to be alone, if only for a few minutes. But even if he could somehow shake Kajiwara, the other detectives had eyes all over his house. He reached the limits of his patience. He couldn't even think straight anymore. He headed for the back door, trying to avoid the police. Opening the door quietly, he slipped across the yard and out through the back fence. He didn't want to venture too far from the house. He found a tiny alley and took cover there. Thankfully, for a few moments to himself at last. He hadn't been there long when he caught the sight of a man and a young girl, a father and a daughter, running past on the main road. It looked like they were running from something. The man flashed a look over his shoulder, then took his daughter by the hand and pulled her off the road. They crouched behind some bushes hiding. As he looked around, wild-eyed, he spotted Osawa watching him from the alleyway. Help! The man called out. Help me! Please! If these guys catch me, Oh. The father's eyes went wide when he got a look of Osawa's face. You're... Huh? Osawa thought he recognized this fugitive too, though he couldn't remember from where. There are some real nasty guys after us, the man said. I know I have no right to ask you this, but please, at least help me keep my daughter safe. Probably you should go to the police if... No! They won't be able to help me with this. Please, I'm begging you, help me. I'm sorry, but... Please, if not me, then at least please help my daughter, the man pleaded. Osawa looked down at the girl. Death eyes. Unlike her father, she was calm and reserved. She reminded him of Maria just a little. These people needed professional help. Osawa decided to call the police. Osawa couldn't just stand idly by. He decided to help them evade their pursuers. Well, chat, what do we go for? Police or evasion? You can't trust the cops? Is that the girl from The Ring? Yes. BBA. Osawa couldn't just stand idly by. He decided to help them evade their pursuers. All right, follow me. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. He led the two back into his house and into the storage shed out back. You can lay low here for a while if you'd like. The shed was fairly large, and there were plenty of space for the man and his daughter. I'm so sorry, the man said. I'm not sure how I can possibly thank you. Don't worry, Osawa closed the shed door. Don't worry, Osawa closed the shed door and headed back to take a look around. Two thuggish-looking men came up running to him. No doubt these were the people the father and daughter were running from. You there, said the one in the sunglasses. You see a guy with his daughter around here? Teruro Toyama and his daughter Hana. They've come to Shoto while running from loan sharks just moments ago. Totoyama was talking on the phone with Minarikawa. It's a jump. He had gotten more info on the Burning Hammer sales demo, but he also lost some more time. The surveillance camera piece still wasn't finished. It was going to be a near thing to get it done before the sales demo started. Yet, instead of returning to his writing, he got out his cell phone. What if Toyama had gotten another of his crazy ideas? If he'd tried to hang himself again, thoughts had Minorikawa too worried to work on his copy. The phone rang several times before someone picked up. Mr. Toyama, where are you right now? Right now? I'm on the run somewhere near Shoto. Toyama was speaking in an oddly hushed tone. Shoto? After you left the office, some guys came by to collect my debts, so I made a run for it. Okay, so he wasn't dead, but the situation was still pretty bad. Look, we'll get you through this somehow, Minorikawa said, hoping it was true. Just keep your head down and stay out of trouble. You need to get back to the office ASAP. Well, he didn't do office, so... The office? But they'll find me there for sure. Toyama's voice was little more than a pathetic whimper. It's a little bit of reverse psychology. The last place the debt collectors are gonna think you went back to is the office, right? I see. He sounded impressed by the suggestion. For now, just stay hidden until I can get these articles finished. All right, Toyama said weakly. Minorikawa let a deep sigh, then turned back to his laptop. Okay. So this is going to lead to the bad end, right? Okay, yeah. So, can't do that. I wonder if Tama changes since she doesn't run into the guy. Since he's no longer on the run? Okay, she still runs into him. Okay. Well, I sure as hell don't know where to go. Kano? Oh, wait. There's some new stuff. How did things go with the girl? You were right. She's not part of this. Just one of those street and evangelists or something. Evangelions. Oh, yeah? Evangelists? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, she kept asking me, but are you really happy with your life? Wigged out on me. I bailed out of there quick. So, Sasayama, I'm thinking the attaché case is going to be handed off at any moment now. Yeah, well, I know this. Oh, So Toyama still gets picked up. So should he say stay low? Okay. Kano was turning the handoff. Okay, there we go. The second man approached the one holding the attaché case. After exchanging a scant handful of words, he took the case and walked off. Sasayama? I'll handle the guy with the case. Got it. Sasayama broke into a run, chasing after the man who had taken the ransom. Hangyo hung up his phone and rushed to close the distance with the other man. Bonk. You there! Stop where you are! The suspect turned, and Kano recognized his face. He was indeed a member of the foreign crime syndicate that operated in Shibuya. Is the hostage safe? Kano demanded. The man's only response was an unsettling grin. Answer me! But though he repeated the question, the man remained silent. Kano took out a pair of handcuffs and reached for the suspect's wrists. Took out his phone to check in with Sasayama. Are we gonna cuff him? He took out a pair of handcuffs. What are handcuffs? It's equipment used by police officers to shackle suspects. In Japan, the belt that makes part of the officer's duty uniform has a storage pouch for a pair of handcuffs. And reached for the suspect's wrists. The man pulled a knife from his breast pocket and swung it right at Kano's face. Kano managed to jerk away in time, but his momentum carried him too far backwards and he sprawled onto the pavement. Damn! The suspect was already making a run for it. Suddenly, a large car of foreign make skidded to a halt, blocking off the man's escape route. A tall Caucasian man jumped out. He wore sunglasses and a crisp suit. Now cornered, the fleeing suspect brandished his knife. Be careful! But Kano didn't have time to finish shouting his warning. There was a metallic whing, and the knife went flying through the air. The man in the sunglasses had snapped his right foot up, sending the weapon flying. As the attacker's jaw dropped in astonishment, the newcomer proceeded to elbow him right in the face. The blow connected and the suspect went down hard. Ow. The fallen man turned his head to look at Kano. His mouth moved as he was attempting to say something. It never got out. The man in the sunglasses kicked him in the face. With a groan, the perp slumped down unconscious. Hey! Kano snapped. What the hell are you doing? He stormed over to the man with the sunglasses. Mr. Anderson. The man nonchalantly dusted off his suit. You were ordered to watch and see where these guys went, right? He spoke in fluent Japanese. Nihongo Jozu? Imagine that you are a Japanese person who had never been in a situation where you suddenly had to speak to a foreigner. You haven't used English in ages. Your tension grows. You think back to English class in school, but nothing you remember is helpful. You muster up the courage to choke out a stammered do you. The foreigner responds fluently in your own language. Nihongo de daijobu desu? It's all right. I speak Japanese. What happened to that Japanese sense of honor I've heard so much about? Who are you? I'm from the U.S. What is the U.S. Embassy? An embassy is where ambassadors from a foreign country lodge and conduct much of their official diplomatic business. Under international law, ambassadors are guaranteed diplomatic immunity, and the embassy grounds are considered territory of the home nation. U.S. Embassy's Regional Security Office is responsible for the security of American diplomatic facilities and personnel and provides American citizens in Japan with information on public order. It's located in Akasaka in the Minato Ward in the Tokyo metropolis. Hey, lucky Japan learning stream when? Oh, I don't think that would be Daijobu. He presented Kino with his ID. It's Jack Stanley. Oh, it's already expired. We're in 23. Jack Stanley. His title was listed as Security Assistance Officer. Kano glanced at the car he showed up in. The license plate was blue with white lettering. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs? Colonel, what's going on? But the ministry wouldn't just send some diplomat to intervene in a police investigation. Kano pulled his phone out of his pocket. Sasayama's name was displayed across the LCD screen. How are things on your end, Kano? I have the suspect in custody. How about you? Sasayama hesitated. He got away from me. What about the attaché case? I'm sorry, but he's still got to be around here somewhere. I'm going to look around some more. Sasayama hung up. What's your name, detective? Jack Stanley asked as Kano was processing the new information. Kano, from the Shibuya precinct. All right, Kano. I'm going to need you to follow my instructions for the next while. Why's that? Instead of answering, Stanley took out his cell phone and made a quick call. After a few moments, he held the phone out for Kano. Here, permission from your boss, he said. What? Wait, Kano squawked. He took the phone gingerly, bracing himself. Kwe? I want you to VA Jack Stanley with the most American accent possible. Isn't my accent already American? Kano speaking. You imbecile! What the hell are you thinking? It was Kuze, and he was furious. Understandably so, really. Do you want me to more southern accent? Alright, I'll do that. That's the only accent I know. Kano had disobeyed a direct order, and for what? All he had accomplished was losing track of the attaché case. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Try University of Texas. You really think sorry is gonna cut it? You're off the force, Kano. Kano slumped, defeated. He had no reply. He knew he deserved whatever punishment he got. Still, orders from up top didn't trump the hostage's safety. If he could have gone back and done it all again, he was sure he would have made the same call. Maybe that meant he wasn't detective material, but so be it. That's what I want to tell you. Kuze continued. But for now, I need you to follow the instructions of the guy here. Stanley, do whatever he tells you. Sir? Kano hadn't seen that one coming. He disobeyed orders, that was undeniable. And yes, he knew he deserved a reprimand. But being ordered to tag along with some stranger who just turned up out of the blue, what the heck? May I ask why the US Embassy is involved in all of this? No more questions, Kano. Step in line. Please, just hold on. Sir, I have no idea what's going on here. Kuze let out a exasperated sigh. That makes two of us, kid. What's the heck? That's true, we don't know. And with that, the director hung up. It sounded like even Kuze didn't have the whole story here, which meant that orders were coming up from someplace higher. A foreign syndicate moving the ransom around, the US Embassy. Whatever was going on. It was more than just a local kidnapping case, and Kano was deep in the middle of it. He handed the phone back to Stanley. I got freaking Epic Game Store pop-ups covering half the screen. A few moments later, two detectives from the MPD arrived on the scene. Stanley handed over the fallen criminal to them. You're chasing a bum lead, you know, Stanley said as he watched them carry the man away. What do you mean? I mean this kidnapping. It ain't about the money. My priority here is the girl's safety. Right now, your priority is doing what I tell you to do. Kano gave him a scowl, but Stanley ignored it. That guy we just arrested, he asked. Did he tell you anything? No, nothing, Kano said. Really now? All trace of emotion drained from Stanley's eyes. His gaze pierced Kano like icy daggers. He held a glimmer of something dangerous. Something Kano had seen plenty of times since he joined the force. He wasn't looking into the eyes of some diplomatic liaison. No, this was a man who knew how to kill. Who'd killed people before. With some effort, Kano managed to regather his sense of professionalism. He didn't tell me anything, he repeated. I just know he's a member of some foreign crime syndicate who works out of Shibuya. I probably know some of their hangouts. Show me, Stanley said, cool as an automaton. We'll take my car. Kano wiped away some of the sweat that had beaded on his brow as they headed for the vehicle. What's an automaton? It's a, wait, I don't know. The game didn't tell me. He was just sliding into the passenger seat when Kuze radioed over the wireless. Okie dokie, folks, listen up. The childish tone was back in his voice, full force. Kano stiffened on reflex. He knew what that meant. So, Hitomi Asawa is, like, gone missing. What? Kano couldn't believe his ears. Wasn't Tatano supposed to be protecting her right now? Also, Detective Tatano hasn't radioed in. And, like, we can't reach him from our end either. No way, Kano blurted out. It can't be. So, yeah. Oh, no. Kuze? Wait, Kuze? He might have gotten himself... He might have gotten caught up in this incident, too. It wasn't like a detective of Tatano's stature to go incommunicado. Incommunicado? During an investigation. It could only mean that something had happened to him, something major. To be continued. Okay, I have no idea how to do the others. We haven't had a jump. There's a jump here. No, we did that one. There's a jump here. Osawa has like been totally kidnapping. Oh my god. Oh, okay, no, that's Tama. We already did Tama. No, we didn't finish Osawa. Do that accent. No. Besides, we're done with Jack. A man and his daughter. Ah, yes, I think I saw them run through here. Which way did they go? That way. Sweet, we almost got him. The pair sped away. Osawa waited until they were fully out of sight, then called out to the shed. All right, they're gone. The door stayed closed, however. I'm really sorry, the man called back from inside. Those guys might come back this way. Is it okay if we hide out here a little while longer? He sounded desperate, pitiful really. Sure, go ahead, Osawa said. With that, he headed back inside. Evidently, he just wasn't going to get any time alone today, no matter where he went. Freeport takes away our VIP and forces Curry. When did he become a mod? Yeah. No backseating modding here, alright? We already got mods. We don't need more of them. Osawa groaned inwardly when he got back to his study. You're still here? Yes, sir. I was told to keep my eyes on you after all. Believe me, it shows. Osawa, if you're going to go outside, I'd appreciate it if you let me know first. Is this a modded run of Shibuya Scramble? That's right. Wait till we get to the hot spring scene. What? Had Kajiwara realized he had snuck out of the house? More importantly, Kajiwara reached back into his suit pocket. I've been meaning to give you this. He held out a small plastic bag. Inside was a scrap of paper of some sort. What's that? Osawa asked. This is what was clogging the toilet, sir. With some hesitation, Osawa took a hold of the bag. Huh? That's... The passenger name here is listed as Kenji Osawa. And the plane ticket was in the plastic bag was a plane ticket. Specifically, the one for his upcoming flight to the U.S. the following week. He left it out on his desk. How did it wind up getting flushed down the toilet? This looks like it's pretty important, sir. I must say, it was pretty careless of you to accidentally flush it. A wry sort of smile came to his face. Although, the detective added, I suppose the question of who flushed it is another matter entirely. Who's the flusher? Osawa was at a loss for words. Someone had tried to flush his plane ticket on purpose. He was sure of it. He knocked on the door to Ai's room, but there was no response. It didn't look like she had gotten home yet. Osawa let himself in. The stinging scent of her perfume pervaded the room, which was decorated all in white. Clothes were strewn all about, as if to put her slovenliness on display. I'd never heard of this word. She had been like this ever since they got married, and Osawa had long since stopped caring. She's a slob. Oh. It must have been I who had tried to flush the ticket. He knew she didn't want him to going to America. But still, couldn't she have found a better way to get rid of it? Thanks to her, he'd been stuck hunched over the damn toilet, fighting with the plunger. Osawa sat down on the bed amidst the brand name clothing and then stopped something odd. No, then he spotted something odd down by his feet. It was a gold cigarette lighter. So when had I picked up smoking? Osawa picked up the lighter and set it on the shelf next to the bed. He started out of the room, but he stopped as he noticed the scrapbook on the bookshelf. The rest of the shelf was filled with fashion magazines, so the scrapbook definitely drew the eye. Curious, he took it down and opened it. The book was filled with articles and write-ups about the results of Osawa's research and the company's various achievements. Flipping through the pages took him on a trip down memory lane. There was even an old company memo welcoming Tanaka on board as his new vice director. There was a photo of Osawa shaking Tanaka's hand at the party celebrating his new position. It was a little peculiar to think that she had bothered to keep something so trivial. A series of magazine articles was nestled between the pages further down the book. These hadn't been clipped out for inclusion in the scrapbook itself. Osawa glanced through them. Flattering, a Koshi pharmaceutical arranges marriage out of political convenience. It was a self-indulgent piece from some rag called 4-Star General Gossip, right after he and I got married. When the piece had first run, he had been too furious to read it. Now he gave it a quick looking over. It was pretty much exactly what he expected. It talked about how one of the corporate directors had sacrificed... What is sacrifice? Allowing someone else to come to harm for one's personal gain. In this case, the term is used figuratively, not literally. His own daughter, in order to keep one of his researchers on board, referring, of course, to Makino offering Osawa Ai's hand in marriage. Rumors abound of marital strife between the newlyweds. The article went on to talk about how Ai had been dating another man before she and Osawa had gotten married. The whole thing was just a bunch of puerile rubbish. Any marriage involved some kind of calculated self-interest after all. Whatever the reasons for their union, nothing changed the fact that I was now his wife. With a faint sigh, Osawa put the scrapbook back on the shelf. Lucky was dating another man. What? Feeling disconsolate, he returned to his study and began flipping through his CD rack. Oh no, more DMCA. No, AI. I, but not I. I, but not me. His eyes scanned for Aya Kamiki's album For Tomorrow Forevermore. No, not an AI, but that's her name. I. A lot of her more experimental numbers were on that album. Given how discombobulated he felt right now, this was all he needed to hear. Again, Osawa reflected on how there had been a time where he didn't care about music at all. He simply purchased copies of the most popular CDs of the moment as birthday presents for his two girls. And that just happened to be an album by Aya Kamiki. Hitomi was thrilled by the gift, but Maria hadn't seemed terribly fond of it. The next day, she tossed her copy back. Oh, that's... Ooh, you don't do that. You don't do that. If someone gets you a gift and the next day she tosses it on your desk, oh, damn, that's brutal. Figuring that throwing it away would be a waste, Osawa had stuck the CD onto his computer to give it a listen. He was immediately bombarded by an intense beat bolstered by bold, uplifting vocals, not locals. Aya Kamiki wrote her own lyrics, which did a fine job of conveying the emotions of a teenage girl. Osawa could hardly believe it. After listening to one track, he was well and truly hooked. Before the day was out, he had purchased her entire discography. Oh, how do you say that? Discography. Huh? He muttered. For tomorrow. Should have been in the CD rack, but there was no sign of it. I have emotions too. Does that make me a teenage girl? Yes. Where the heck is it? Lucky, please. Hey. I'm not good at words. You guys know this. Why isn't it here? For a moment, he wondered if he was going crazy. Then he remembered it was at the lab. He wanted something to listen to on break at work. I should have just gotten SoundCloud. He'd wanted something to listen to on break at work, so he brought the album there. Darn it. No. Oh, remember, we're not censoring. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn. 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 Lucky State. What are you talking about? The dentist is... No. Not being able to listen to it made him want to hear it all the more. It wasn't like he could go out and buy another copy right now either. Well, he could, or just open YouTube. He'd just have to borrow the copy he'd given Hitomi all those years ago. Unable to contain his need to hear that music, he went to Hitomi's room. When are you dating the bakery? The whole bakery? Damn. I'm gonna be busy. I haven't been to the bakery this week. I should, though. It was really good. There, he quickly rummaged through the CD rack beside his daughter's bed. Part of him felt like he was being a little sneak thief. According to the email Tanaka had shown him, someone was trying to kill Hitomi. Under the circumstances, he knew that what he was doing was ridiculous, and yet he still couldn't resist the impulse to find his CD. But his efforts were to no avail. There was no Aya Kamiki CDs in the rack at all. Osawa pulled out every CD on the rack, but they were all classical music. He slumped back in disappointment. It had to be somewhere here in her room. Osawa jumped at the sound of his cell and fumbled to get it out of his pocket. Makino's name was displayed on the LCD screen. I'm out front. That was all Makino said before hanging up. Hurriedly, Osawa began tidying up the CD rack. As he worked, he thought about what he was going to say to Makino. Or Makino. To think that someone had violated corporate policy to such unethical ends. It sullied his research. Osawa wasn't about to let anyone get away with it. And yet, as he was about to leave Hitomi's room, a certain uncertainty gripped him. He hesitated. Did he have any right to condemn Makino for running trials in secret? His hand began to sweat as it gripped the doorknob. No, he didn't. How could he? His hands were dirty in all of this too. We just need to keep this a secret. Just between us. It'll be fine. We've already cleared animal testing. The memories hovered. Osawa himself had already administered the antiviral to someone, hadn't he? It was the only way. What is going on? Muttering to nobody in particular, Osawa trudged towards the front door of his house. To be continued. All right, well, we only have Tama and Minorikawa. Look, just calm down, Minorikawa was practically screaming into this phone. Stay where you are until I get there, okay? Got that? Whatever you do, just don't move. Leaving the money for his coffee on the table, he strode out of the cafe. Street interviews were tougher than they looked. Not many random passerbys were willing to stop and do a back and forth. Still, being able to talk to people on the street was a fundamental skill for a freelance reporter. All Minorikawa wanted was for Chiaki to put a little effort and make it happen. Although he found her personality frustrating, he actually quite liked her writing. Reading her words, you'd never guess what she was like in person. If she could just break the right story, I'm sure readers would be readers would be quite taken with her. There was no time like the present. The plaza outside Shibuya Station was as crowded as ever. Oh, I'm slurring now. Why do I have to play this game? Marble mouth, lucky. Minorikawa looked around and soon spotted Chiaki. Hey, what are you doing? He asked. She was hunkered down in front of the statue of Hachiko, squatting in an odd position. A group of kindergartners was gathered. Well, what are kindergartners? A pair of girls from Midoriyama Academy's kindergarten. They always hang out around the train station after school. They're quite fond of killing time inside of the Tokyo 5000 series display car, the new landmark by the Hachiko entrance. The beat cop at the station's police box has nicknamed them the Kinder Partners. That's adorable. Group of kindergartners were gathered nearby, peering at her with sadness in their eyes, like she was a stray dog or something. What's this all about? Minorikawa asked. This is how I end up when I lose all my self-confidence. I just want to hide. Basically me, after every stream. Oh, for crying out loud, get up, will you? I don't wanna. Stop crying. Chiaki sniffled and wiped her eyes. Let me ask you this. Minorikawa stared down at her. What was it that made you want to be a freelance writer? Well, I guess because I wanted to try my hand at writing. A dangling bit of mucus bobbed in and out of Chiaki's left nostril as she spoke. Okay, Minorikawa followed. And why's that? Well, I'm too embarrassed to say. Chiaki hid her face in her hands. Okay, never mind that then. Right now, you have a task that's been handed to you. You can't just say you can't do it. Minorikawa tried to keep his tone calm. No magazine in the world is going to let a novice writer just write about whatever they want. You have to prove yourself first. Get your fundamentals down. I already know all of that. Minorikawa took the notebook from Chiaki's hands. Hey, she squeaked. Wait, you only talked to one person so far? There sure wasn't going to be a story in that. Yeah. Well, not a person exactly. Wait, what's this here? A cat? No, I mean, yes, there was a person in a cat cup. Oh! Is that a jump? Are we having a jump? Where could that truck? Where could the truck that took the burning hammer possibly have gone? I'm standing here racking my brain when I hear a voice call out from behind me. Excuse me. Are you, happy with, your, life right now? I turned to see a woman holding a notebook. Huh? I mean, just... Sorry. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? I do not have the time for this right now. I'm more than a little busy. Oh, no, I mean, I understand if you can't. She's giving me this hyper-intensive stare. I can't tell if she's trying to be intimidating or she's actually afraid of me. Something about her is definitely off. Way too jittery and suspicious for my liking. Whatever she wants, I'd rather not get involved. I'm actually pretty busy, I say. Oh, but, I mean, just real quick, it'll be a huge help. Please? But, please, I really, please. She bows so many times that she looks like one of those drinking birds. What is that? A toy bird that functions by means of a simple heat engine mechanism, causing it to continuously dip its head into liquid, then rise back up. Sometimes falsely claimed to be some type of perpetual motion device. Once a common sight in offices the world over. Like in The Simpsons, when Homer was overweight. Well, no, massively obese. I can't help but feel bad for this poor girl. I guess I can give her at least a few moments of my time. This girl is kind of creeping me out. I decide to ignore her and move along. I think we need to do A so Minorikawa can get his freaking thing going. I can't help but feel bad for this poor old girl. I guess I can give her at least a few moments of my time. Alright, but please make it quick. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. She goes back into drinking bird mode. So what was that question? They don't call him Pittsburgh Fats because he's morbidly obese. Wasn't it Minnesota Fats? Cool legend? So what was the question? All right. So are you, happy, well, chat, with your life right now? Well, right now, as you can see, I am a cat. Oh, a cat. Yes, yes, I see a cat. So, yeah, I'll put down cat. She just writes the word cat in her notepad. Right, thank you. We're finished already? Yes. Yes, we can finish right there. She hangs her head a little and looks away. Well, that was sure quick. I'm not sure I get what that was all about. But did I really give her enough to be useful? I doubt it, but hey, at least it was over fast. I head off in search of the burning hammer once more. No matter where I wander, though, I don't spot the truck anywhere. Now there's only 15 minutes before the demo's supposed to start. I better make my way back to the venue. Maybe Chiri had better luck in her search. Back at the break room, I am met by Mr. Yanagashita, who positively radiates despair. Did you find it? I'm sorry, I tried. Yanagashita's shoulders slump further at my response. Have you heard from Chiri? I ask. No, nothing yet. I guess she's our last hope. All of a sudden, Mr. Yanagashita holds up a pendant. This situation's rough. I'd like you to wear this. It's a miracle stone, like the one I saw back in the storeroom earlier. This ought to kick up your luck a notch. I also have one of those stones hanging around my neck. When I take it off, I'm no longer Lucky 1X. Now I can see that Yanagashita is wearing another miracle stone around his own neck. Using that one bit of sham merchandise is to help find another. Nice. This is the pinnacle of pitiful. That's what it is. Hurry up and put it on before the luck runs out. Mr. Yanagashita's eyes are all bloodshot. Something tells me that refusing his request wouldn't be wise right now. After a moment's hesitation, I take a hold of the pendant. The stone is blue and glittery. Is that Cherry? Mr. Yanagashita squeaks. He whips out his phone. Ah, no, sorry, he mutters after listening for a moment. I think you have the wrong number. Guess it wasn't Cherry after all. Okay, okay. And yet he stays on the line. Huh? Really? His tone suddenly does a complete 180. Yes, please, thank you so much. As soon as he hangs up, Yanagashita strikes a victory pose. It's a miracle! Burning Hammer is back, baby! Huh? The recycling guy realized his mix-up and returned the boxes to the loading dock. Whoa, for real? You girls did great! Thank you! From the bottom of my heart! Mr. Yanagashita dancing emote when? Wait. Oh. Here you go. If you want to take screenshots. Oh, the chat's in the way. Well, too bad. I'm going to prep the demo room. Tama, you go bring the burning hammer inside. With that, Mr. Yanagashita practically flies out of the room. No way, I murmur to myself. This thing didn't actually work, did it? I examined the miracle stone more closely. It just looks like some kind of toy jewelry. I wish I actually get paid my 20,000 yen. Hey, it's worth a shot. The miracle stone still clutched in my hand, I hurry out to the loading dock. I brace myself before actually stepping out the door. It's there! It's really there! Cardboard boxes are scattered all around the outside. Wait, scattered all around? What happened to them? I suddenly have a very bad feeling about this. Apprehension gnaws at me as I open one of the boxes. No! I shriek and my vision dims. The box is full of bottles of burning hammer, all of them smashed to pieces. Aki. To be continued. A cat? Oh, well, I mean, there was a person in a cat costume. I thought since I couldn't see their face, it'd be easier to ask them for stuff. Fine, whatever. Now get back out there and get me some more. Minarikawa steered Chiaki to look at the kids. Steered Chiaki towards the passing crowd. What now? Yes, now. You got no time to waste. I'll even stand by and watch for a minute. Now, enough with the excuses and get out there. Minarikawa looked on as Chiaki wandered through the crowd. Her anxious demeanor seemed to repel everyone around her. On the rare chance she did manage to flag someone down, the way she stammered through her initial questions made them take right off again. After a minute or two, she shuffled her way back, shoulders slumped. See, it's hopeless. Okay. Some advice. First off, you aren't approaching the right people. Some people are clearly in a rush, you know? You're not going to have much luck trying to flag down a businessman who's visibly in a hurry. Now, folks who are waiting on someone, couples, groups, they're going to be less on their guard. I mean, if I do manage to nab someone, how do I keep the conversation going? Chiaki asked. That was indeed the tricky part. Whenever I get an answer I'm not expecting, I get all flustered. Chiaki, have you ever played tennis? Tennis? Well, yeah, I was in my school's tennis club. She struck Minarikawa as being more the manga club type, but that was neither here nor there. Okay, that'll make this simpler. What's more fun? Rallying with an opponent or hitting the ball off the wall? Rallying with someone else, of course. Minarikawa gave a hearty nod. And why is that? Because when you hit the ball off the wall, you already know where it's going to come back to. Revelation dawned on Chiaki's face. Oh. It's the same with interviews, Minarikawa said. Don't get flustered, enjoy the rally. But I don't think I'm composed enough to enjoy it. Don't overthink things. Just let yourself enjoy the small talk. Small talk? Oh, I'm sure I'm not any good at that. She was starting to waffle again. All right, let me ask you this, Minarikawa said, taking a step closer. Are you happy with your life right now? I'm not happy with my life right now, no, Chiaki muttered. She hung her head in dismay. Okay, so start with that, Minarikawa said, huh? Chiaki blinked a few times as she lifted her head back up. I'm not happy with my life right now, but what about you? Like that? Oh, okay. A sliver of liveliness had crept back into Chiaki's voice. Minarikawa jabbed his finger right in her face. Right there, he said. Put that face when you flag people down. Chiaki's smile widened. I'll give it a shot. Thank you so much. Sure thing. Good luck. Chiaki strode enthusiastically into the crowd and then tried to flag down a Westerner who was walking hurriedly past. Did she even listen to a word I said? Minarikawa felt his short-lived triumph melt away. Am I gonna have to teach her everything again from scratch? Then he paused in surprise. Hold on. Okay, good. Whoa. Chiaki had snatched the man by the arm in an attempt to get him to stop. To Minarikawa's amazement, the gambit worked. Before long, it looked like the two were engaged in some kind of animated conversation. Maybe she would get an interview out of this after all. Heck, the look on her face was actually somewhat confident. Sometimes people could surprise you once you got past their surface issues. Now Minarikawa could head to the Burning Hammer sales demo with a little more peace of mind. Speaking of which, crap, what time is it? In a panic, Minarikawa checked his wristwatch. Think about this wristwatch. That will tell you how you think about the opposite sex and whatnot. Oh no, I think it's tacky. Oh no! The demo was set to start in less than 5 minutes. Uh-oh. He was really cutting it close. Minarikawa sprinted through the intersection, heading for Center Guy. To be continued. Hey, thank you for that, Sombra. My wristwatch also tells me how I feel about the opposite sex. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Oh! Last time on Shibuya Scramble. All right, boys. Who we going for? Well, I haven't done Aki. Minarikawa, Tama. This game, well, it's a visual novel, so I'm going to expect at least 10 to 20 hours. Especially if I'm reading everything. Oh, man. This is going to take a while. Pick up where we left off. Okay, fair enough. Right. Left. Minarikawa sprinted down Center Guy, dodging between oncoming pedestrians. Out of my way! Can't you people see I'm in a hurry? He stole a glimpse at his watch as he ran. It was just after 1 o'clock. The Burning Hammer sales demo would be getting underway at any moment now. He could probably get an interview even if he showed up late. Still, he wanted to get to the venue ASAP to get a feel for things before they got started. The best time to scope out an event was before it started and after it ended. This was something he learned from Toyama. Everything he knew about journalism, the publisher had taught him. It had been a combative education. Minarikawa learning despite himself, as the two men constantly butted heads. Oh, give me a break! What's wrong with my article? Minarikawa shouted. His voice was loud enough to carry throughout the editing department. Shut up! I told you to rewrite it, so rewrite it! Toyama sticking to his guns. Minarakawa recalled the scene from the days when the two men had worked at the same newspaper, and Toyama was his boss. What is a boss? At the time, Toyama was the copy editor for the local news, known as the Red Pen Gatekeeper. He would go around checking young reporters' copy like mad. Copies like mad? Due to his vigorous efforts, a great many articles never made it to page. A boss is something you'll never be. Aren't I a boss of myself right now? What's wrong with it? Show me what's wrong. All of it. How can it be all of it? Co-workers stared, keeping their distance as the pair screamed themselves red in the face. These arguments had become a regular occurrence, irregular enough that everyone had learned not to try to intervene. I poured my heart and soul into this piece. Go back and read it again. I could read it over and over and it'd still be the same thing. A load of self-important claptrap. Now go calm down and write me a more neutral piece. What is neutral? Taking neither of two opposing sides, the media typically seeks to adopt a neutral... That's a good one, game. The media typically seeks to adopt a neutral stance in reporting the news. Frequently, however, biased reporting still results in one-sided thinking taking hold amongst the general public. In the end, it's up to the individual to make an objective assessment of any news event. Calm down. Calm down. You must be joking. I write what I feel in my heart. That's the one thing I refuse to back down on. And it's the one thing that'll keep getting your copy rejected. Aren't you the one who told me to be bold and daring with my writing? Yeah, I did. But I don't remember telling you to write me garbage. By now, Minarakawa and Toyama were practically at each other's throats. Still, despite these almost daily shouting matches, Minarakawa never resented Toyama, not really. How could he write a piece in a way that would shut Toyama up? Toyama. Trying to figure that out was how he developed his skills as a reporter. Up until he quit his position at the newspaper to start his own publishing company, Toyama had been a stubborn old man in the finest sense of the term. Stubborn old man. What does that mean? Now a dying breed in Japan, the sort who'd been inclined to use knuckles before words to remedy a child's bad behavior. Inflexible, but still emotionally brittle. Their signature move is to drive a wayward kid out of the house with the exclamation, "You fool! You're no son of mine, I now disown you!" Only to wait a while to go find the son who's crying down by the riverbed and calmly murmur, "Come on, your supper's getting cold." Oh. Also, it's too real. But then, in order to keep his company afloat, at some point he had abandoned all his ideals and principles. It was disgraceful. Dying breed, get it? Because they're getting old? No, I don't. What? Can someone explain that? Just disgraceful. Thinking about it made Minarakawa's blood boil. It rankled him to know that such a pathetic remnant of a man had been such an influence on him. He reminded himself once again that he needed to wrap up this current job as soon as possible. By now, Minarakawa was getting close to the demo site. He increased the speed. Oh, moing. He wound up barreling right into someone who was walking into a knick-knack shop. A what? A newly opened general variety store, just like my streams. The place is primarily a second-hand shop with posters inside proclaiming things like, "We'll take what you don't need, and we buy computers at top prices." It was a girl about high school age. She jumped to her feet and snatched Mirakawa by the collar. "Hey, watch where you're going," she snapped. Her upper body strength was impressive, to say the least. The chokehold she had on his neck made it almost impossible for him to breathe. She had to do something fast. Sorry, he bowed his head in apology. "Take this!" He drove a punch right into the girl's flank. Are we going with violence, or are we sorry? Okay, violence, of course, chat. "Take this!" He drove a punch right into the girl's flank. To his amazement, the girl shrugged off the blow as if it were nothing. Her grip on his collar tightened further. "Ho ho! You want to throw down, huh?" she sneered. Shifting position, suddenly, she snatched Minarakawa by the hair and dragged him out into the road. No! We're getting the beat down! Before he could process the trouble he was in, it was already too late. He cowered away from her, shielding his face with his arms, only to feel the impact of a rain of punches and kicks on his exposed back and sides. Pain shot through his body as each blow landed with a perversely satisfying thump. And then the pain continued to intensify. "Oh crap, I'm going to die here, aren't I? Never thought my life would end so soon." Huh? His assailant paused sullenly. "Wait, don't I know you?" She stared down onto his face. "Hey, you're Mr. Minarakawa." Shocked to hear his own name, Minarakawa peered up at the girl. "Miku? Yeah. Wow, so you do remember me." Her tone was bubbly, as if the beating she had been dishing was all fun and games. "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize it was you." She held out a hand to help Minarakawa back to his feet. "Is this Chie?" "Yes." "Wow, how long has it been?" she asked. "About 5 years, I think," he said cautiously. You still doing that bonsai stuff?" "Nah," she replied. "I gave that up." Miku had been Japan's bonsai champion back when she was in middle school. One day, local delinquents had vandalized dozens of Miku's bonsai pieces. Minarakawa had met her when he interviewed her about the incident. "I want to get strong," she had said. "I want to be able to beat those guys up." And so Minarakawa had introduced Miku to an acquaintance of his who ran a martial arts dojo. "Man, you sure have gotten strong," Minarakawa said. "Well, that's the sort of gal I am." Miku handed him a flyer. Yeah? It read, "Ladies Mixed Martial Arts Pub Bride. Present this flyer for a free drink." "It's a place where you can watch girls fight in the ring while you have some drinks," Miku said. That sounds pretty fun, actually. Minarakawa could feel himself being pulled in all the wrong directions by the prospects. "You should come see one of my matches sometime. I'm the current champion there." Miku beamed with pride. "Wait, you're the champion?" Well, he had seen firsthand how strong she was. So what are you up to now?" she asked. "Working?" "Yeah, running around trying to get interviews. Right now I'm heading to, what was it again? The Nakani building. That's it. Oh, I can take you there. I can use the exercise. Now, if you'll beg my pardon." Excuse me? How strong is she? This is basically JoJo Part 6. Miku casually hefted Minorikawa up to her back and broke into a jog. Before long, they arrived at the Nokane building. Minorikawa thanked Miku as she set him down on the sidewalk, and the two parted ways. Just like a triple chie. At long last, he arrived at the Nokane building, where the event was being held. The wall by the elevator was plastered with posters about Burning Hammer. Get it or regret it! As seen in magazines. 100% weight loss guaranteed. Wait a minute. What is that? This is blatantly false advertising. Oh no. The messaging was kind of a mess. Felt like it was thrown together at the last minute. Minorikawa avoided the elevator in favor of the store. Minorikawa avoided the elevator in favor of the stairs, rushing up to the event site on the 3rd floor. Emerging from the stairwell, he saw more posters on the wall pointing to the way of the sales demo. He followed the arrows to a room deeper within the building. Oh wow. Opening the door, he saw about 50 chairs. Most of them occupied by female attendees. There was a stage set up at the far end of the room, but nobody was on it. It appeared that the event had yet to begin. Minorikawa quickly looked over the crowd. Roughly half of the women were somewhat elderly. All of them looked like they could stand to lose some weight. And for some of them, at least, that ship had surely sailed some time ago. Damn. Minorikawa is rough. The crowd gazed at the stage with rapt anticipation. A beverage that allowed you to eat plenty and still lose weight was definitely an appetizing proposition. Could something like that really exist, though? Oh well. Minorikawa was just gonna have to wait and see. He did his best to get his mind into journalism mode. Ladies, terribly sorry to have kept you waiting. At the presenter's cue, a cat mascot appeared and took the stage. The audience broke into an applause. After waiting patiently for the applause to die down, the cat produced a small box, which she slowly pulled a pendant set with a blue stone. Huh? Certainly wasn't a diet drink or whatever it was. Minorikawa wasn't the only one who quickly realized this wasn't a Burning Hammer sample. After staring for a moment, the rest of the crowd began to fly into an uproar. Quiet! The cat shouted. Taking aback, the crowd quieted down. The cat held the pendant up high so that everyone could take a look at it. Do not take your eyes off this pendant. If you do, you will die. The jolt of panic shot throughout the room. Slowly. Remember, chat. You take your eyes off of it. Slowly, the cat began to swing the pendant back and forth. Minorikawa couldn't quite recall what happened after that. When he came to his senses, he had already pulled a 10,000 yen bill from his wallet, handing it to the man he assumed was the demo organizer. In exchange, he'd received a pendant with the same as the cat had been holding. I've done it, Minorikawa muttered to himself excitedly. Clutching the pendant in his hand, he could feel the energy it radiated coursing throughout his body. The cat's monotone chanting from the stage sounded in his ears like a chorus of angels. Overwhelmed by a feeling of ecstasy he could scarcely contain, Minarakawa repeated the words to himself. I've done it. With this, I'll be the greatest writer the world has ever seen. My articles will stir emotions of the entire human race. They'll laugh, they'll cry, they'll tremble with fear, they'll jump for joy. No longer was the Pulitzer Prize a mere dream, it was practically his. What is the Pulitzer Prize? It's a prize awarded for excellence in journalism, literature, and music composition, named for the American journalist Joseph Pulitzer, active during the late 19th and early 20th century, early 20th century, and administered by Columbia University, the man I am slurring, to whom he willed all of his money in order to establish a journalism school. 3 Japanese photographers have been awarded the prize in the past. Yasushi Nagao, Kyoichi Sawada, and Toshio Sakai. We got a niobium pendant. No. Minarakawa wanted. No, he needed to tell someone how excited he was. The miracle he attained, he wasn't going to just squander it on himself. Oh no. A journalist of his stature needed to share what he knew with all of humanity. He opened up his laptop. He booted up his word processing program. He deleted all of the articles he'd been working on. He knew what he really needed to write. Special edition report on the Miracle Stone, only in 4-star General Gossip spring issue. A must-have stone already in many fashionistas' collection. Look out, world. Mysterious gemstone set to change international balance of power. Blessed by the Miracle Stone, get your hot stock tips here. The page is originally slated for the pros and cons of security cameras and washed-up screenwriters, were instead filled with glowing praise and rave reviews for the Miracle Stone. Never had Minarakawa been more proud of his work. Back at 4-star General Gossip headquarters, Minarakawa handed his articles to Toyama, who was sitting glumly at his desk. Toyama looked them over slowly, then there was a lingering silence. Finally, he spoke, his voice subdued, but his words crystal clear. Yeah, this is all getting axed. Yeah, this is all getting axed. Axed. All right, bad end. And it's especially a bad end because we're going to call it there for tonight. Well, we got another stream in 2.5 hours. We got Final Fantasy VIII, so tune in if you want to watch that. But for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.